Hey everyone, welcome to the results video of the pre-designed coaster improvement contest. That's a whole lot of words. Basically, in short, what it means was players had to take one of the rides which comes with the game. For example, here we see Mummy's Curse. And players had to make an improved version of the ride. And then, of course, decorate it and place it in a park. Now, we had 17 completed entries. I will start with the one that got last place, and I'll finish by announcing who was the winner of this round. Okay, in last place we had this entry from Andrew781, who is a newcomer on my on our community, and he did an improvement of the ride Contortion, which is a twisted coaster design. Now, he didn't particularly change much about the ride, just a few small areas, just to get a better rating of the ride. Now, something to take into account for my contest is that people generally don't really look at their ratings, rather they look at how nice a ride looks. So yeah, if I put the original next to it, you don't really see much of a difference. So that's probably why people scored it a little bit lower. So yeah, probably for a contest like this, it's nicer to focus just on making it a little bit more spacious and just making it look a bit nicer. Maybe give it a nice looking station as well, since this station could definitely use some more detail. But yeah, for a first time player, I think this entry is really not bad. And yeah, when someone plays like this, it generally reminds me of how I used to play scenarios. Alright, here's the entry from 73. So here we see an improved version of the ride Glowworm. Now, it is kind of difficult to distinguish stuff here from each other, since a lot of things here have the same color. Yeah, I do think the layout is a slight improvement. Oops, this is the wrong one. Yeah, here it is, Glowworm. So if we place down the ride here, well, both layouts are quite compact, but this one from 73 is a bit more spacious. You can see an extra loop here, extra helix. It has some path interaction, but yeah, what it definitely needs is maybe some more contrast between the actual ride and the scenery around it. Also, there's a queue here under the ride, which looks a little bit weird. It looks like the guests are just walking over water here. There's no fences or anything around the queue. So that's probably a little bit weird. And the rest of the park here, there's some weird rides here, like this huge, enormously tall ride, which just slams into the brakes here. I mean, if you're gonna give a coaster so much height, then don't just lose all the speed here. That just makes no sense. Okay, here's the entry from Cobra 6. Cobra 6 remade the ride Chocolate Log, I believe, which is a junior coaster design. Now, I'm not going to place it in the park here, because there's not really much space for me to place it. But yeah, you can see the ride has been made a little bit more spacious. I quite like the design of the ride now. And I really like all the decoration around the ride. There's some barrels here, some cabins, yeah, some chocolate stuff going around. Yeah, I think the decoration here actually looks quite nice. So some nice buildings here. This looks like some shops over here. The shops are a little bit square or rectangular. Probably would look nicer with some pointy roofs. But yeah, overall, I think this looks pretty cool. Well, there are also some small flaws in the ride, because you can see these trains waiting at the top of the lift hill every time. This ride now actually runs with 4 trains. When you see trains waiting on block sections in the middle of the ride, it's probably better to run with one less train, or yeah, make the minimum wait time a bit longer. Right now, there's no minimum wait time. Yeah, that will just lead to trains waiting on each other. So yeah, just to improve the flow a bit, one less train probably will do the trick. Alright, the next entry is from Sergeant Sodium. He remade, I believe, Mischief, the wooden coaster. I think it's from Rollercoaster Tycoon 1. Here we have it. Let's try to put it on somewhere. Yeah, here it shows. So if you follow the chain lifts of both rides, you can actually kind of see the similarity, especially in that first drop and how twisty it is. And there's also several other key places where these layouts still look quite alike. The first lift hill was here actually replaced with a twisty section under the coaster, and here we can actually see a vertical lift hill leading up. Now I think the vertical lift hill does look a little bit strange, since this vertical part doesn't actually have sprites for a chain lift. So yeah, that's I think that's a little bit weird, but I do like this conversion to RMC. Yeah, sadly no inversions, but the creator said that with inversions the ride would no longer really be recognizable. Although I think probably it would have been possible to include a cutback into one of these helixes. But yeah, the rest of the park, yeah, it's just a small park. It is nicely decorated, so that's good. Alright, the next entry is from Euron. He recreated the water coaster called Fossil Folly. Now, to be really honest, I actually kind of liked the original ride better than the version that Euron made. The original version had a little bit more water. It's a bit more spaced out, I think. So, yeah, I think it just looks a little bit nicer. In a water coaster, you probably want to have quite a bit of water. But still, I think Euron put it in the landscape nicely here. I quite like the theming around it. You can see some dinosaur theme, and that's definitely fitting for this ride with its trilobite vehicles. So yeah, overall, just a small and nice little park. Okay, the next entry is from Solaris. Now, I really like the landscaping that he did here. You can see this big rock here in the middle, and on top of the rock there's this dueling coaster. It's actually based on Rolling Thunder, which is a wooden coaster. Not actually sure if it fits in the park here. Yeah, there's actually two different rides here. Yeah, it doesn't actually fit in this park. It's just too big. So I can't really compare, but I believe it's in one of the Six Flags scenarios. Well, yeah, I think these trains duel quite nicely. Yeah, they do enter this lift hill both at a different time, but during the track, the trains typically do stay close to each other. Wait, they have a completely different time that they drop down from the lift hill. But yeah, overall, I think the dueling in this coaster is actually quite nice, especially in the later half of the ride. Alright, the next entry is from 63 Brubacher. Here made Quantum Thruster, the limb launch, the roller coaster, and actually turned it into a triple launch, and he used the bullet train vehicles. Now, I typically don't really use many vehicles from the expansions because they look a little bit strange. So probably with the normal limb launched vehicles, it would have looked nicer. I do quite like this hill here in the launch. That's typically something you will see on newer coasters. So I think that's actually quite a nice improvement to the ride. Now I do think it looks a little bit weird with this B&M coaster track over here, and also this spike is a little bit too high for how far the coaster actually reaches. I believe it reaches to here, and then it already returns back. So probably this spike could either have been a little bit lower. Or in the first launch the coaster could have reached a bit farther, so that the train actually would reach higher on the spike. And of course a limb launch coaster track, or even Giga coaster track for this part would have probably looked much nicer than the B&M coaster track. But yeah, still, I think it's quite a nice improvement on the Quantum Thruster. We can also see a wooden coaster here in this, here on the edge of the park, and some other buildings and rides as well. As for the buildings in the park, it kind of looks like a mishmash of themes. Here we see some Asian, here we see some more wooden, and yeah, it's just all different colors, different styles. Since this park is so small, it probably could have all been done in one style, and then probably it would have looked a lot nicer. Okay, the next entry is from Colorblind Unicorn. He actually improved the Robin Hood ride, which is actually a recreation of a coaster from one of the Six Flags parks, and he turned it into Robin Wild. Wait, the Robin Hood coaster actually got turned into an RMC for real called Untamed. Yeah, I quite like what Colorblind Unicorn did to this ride. It actually looks really nice. Now, yeah, he probably should name the rides that he plays in this park. Here in this section we can see it's called Hybrid Coaster 1. This observation tower is called Observation Tower 1. So that's maybe a little bit lazy. Some of the other rides are named though. But yeah, it's definitely something to watch out for. Yeah, I saw lots of comments from people who really liked the ride, but thought the rest of the park is a little bit bland. Yeah, personally, I think these fences around the coaster probably could have been a little bit higher, and same for these rides, because it's probably a little bit dangerous for the guests to just have these small fences around the ride, which moves and really has the potential to splatter someone. Yeah, nice ride. The park, I think, could have been a little bit improved. Okay, here's the entry from Jaiden. He actually remade Great American Scream Machine. Now, I thought this was actually one of the funniest entries. I believe this park is called Dad Land. And this ride is called Mustachio. So you can see a big mustache sculpture here on the lift hill of the coaster, the support structure. And for this ride he actually added a loop to make a mustache for this big dad statue, let's call it that. And actually the first part of the ride got a dark ride section, which actually has several strippers in the form of entertainers. Yeah, I think this is definitely a really funny entry. Also, I really like the location of this what are they called again? I completely forgot the name of this element. You can probably tell me what the name of this element is in the comments. Oh yeah, it's a Batwing. No need to tell me. But yeah, some fun other rides in this park. I believe this one's called Dad's Fist. Not really sure what the story is behind this ride, but this structure here kind of looks like a fist. But yeah, I thought this definitely was one of the funniest entries we got in this round, and there's some really cool stuff in this park, especially this beer sculpture here. Alright, here's the entry from Flushed Foil 86. He remade Tornado, the corkscrew coaster. So let me find it. Tornado. Here it is. So I believe we can just put this design here in the middle. You can see these designs actually match up pretty well, but you can see the version from Flushed Foil 86 actually is quite a bit more spacious. The corkscrews are still next to each other, and the elements are still in the same place, but it generally just looks a lot nicer. And I think Flushed Foil 86 also made a really nice support structure around the coaster. And you can see this coaster is put on top of a parking lot, and you can really see that it's one of those portable or traveling coasters. It's most easily seen from this support structure below the coaster. Since of course a traveling coaster usually does not have a foundation, so they just put a big steel structure under it. Quite often they make it heavier with large chunks of concrete or stuff like that. But you can also see some trailers around it with I believe some arcade games. So yeah, you can definitely see that it kind of looks like a fun fair. Now, besides the coaster, I think the rest of the park probably could have used a little bit more attention to detail. Especially over here, I think this ground texture here looks a little bit maybe on the boring side. Maybe it would have looked nice if there was some wood here on the floor, something like that, or maybe some more interesting temporary buildings or something like a haunted house, yeah, just generally some things like that. But overall, I think this the coaster itself just looks incredible with all these cool supports. Okay, here's the entry from Lurker. Now, he actually remade Microphobia, which is, I believe, a ride from RST1. No, it's actually from RST2. So, oh wait, let me turn off the scenery. Microphobia. Right, so here we have the ride. Now you can see Microphobia. Oh, the name already says it. It's a really small ride. Now you can definitely see the resemblance in both of these designs, but the one from Lurker obviously is a lot more spacious, and at the end it also has a block break section, and the ride station just in a space which makes it a lot easier to actually decorate the station in a nice way. I think Lurker made a really nice building around it. Now we can see quite a few buildings here that Lurker made in the park. What I did notice, however, is that a lot of these buildings kind of look similar. So here you can see this building, 4 towers on the sides. You see the same here and the same here, and 1 tower in the middle. So I'm not sure if that was intentional, but yeah, these buildings do kind of have the same style. You can see the same here, by the way. So yeah, maybe that's the theme of the park. I'm not really sure. I believe Lurker also yeah, made this park so that it can be played as a scenario. So if you take this park, you put it in your scenarios folder, you should also be able to play it. I believe there's a goal to get like 1,000 guests in the park. So yeah, it might actually be fun to download this park for yourself and actually try to reach that goal. I actually tried it myself and it was fairly easy. But yeah, it should be fun to actually play this scenario. I think this is a nice entry from Lurker once again. Alright, here's the entry from Ethan, which you could also see in the very beginning of this video. So this coaster design is actually a mummy's curse. Here we see it. Ethan actually chose to put the lift hill on a diagonal. Now, when you put a lift hill on a diagonal, it always makes your coaster look much more yeah, imposing. So I think that's a really good design choice. Now you can also see the first curve drop into this side winder. I believe it's a side winder inversion. Then there's the loop. I like how the chain lift now actually passes through the loop rather than beside it. Yeah, and I think Ethan just did an incredible job on improving this coaster. I also really like the station for the coaster that Ethan made. Yeah, it just looks really nice in this Egyptian style. I believe this is like in an Egyptian style, but in a Las Vegas setting. So probably this is like a casino or something. But yeah, I really like the facades of these buildings. I think they look really nice with all these different colored layers. There's some other cool rides here as well. Some of them are actually functioning. We can see a shoestring ride here. Another little shoestring ride here with guests actually riding it. Quite a nice entrance to the park. Nice seating areas. There is a lot of glitching going on in the park, however. So probably that's why people scored it a little bit lower. But yeah, if that was fixed, I think this park would have done even better. But yeah, lots of beautiful structures in this park from Ethan. Okay, here's the entry from Grimnark. Grimnark remade Texas Giant. Now we can get the real one over here. Here we go. So yeah, if you put these layouts next to each other, the changes are mostly quite subtle. You can see it mostly in the helix that goes around the lift hill. So you can see it only goes around the lift hill once in the new design. Well, in the previous one it would go around it twice. But yeah, like I said, changes are mostly subtle. The biggest change, of course, is in these custom supports. Actually, RMC track was used for this. I think they work great to make your own custom supports for a wooden coaster. Especially these diagonal ones look really impressive, I think. So yeah, that's already really cool. What I also really like in this park is the foliage surrounding it. I think the foliage here is just done really nicely. It's a nice mixture of trees. Yeah, all trees that would probably go well in the same climate together. Nice foliage surrounding the trees as well. These buildings also look pretty cool. There's also some cool rides here. I really like how this twist is decorated with this recolored checkerboard floor. And probably one of my favorite parts of this park is this car ride, which is done in this mushroom theme. You can also see these recolored bushes here. I think it makes it look really nice and mystical. So yeah, this is a really cool entry from Grimnark. Okay, next entry is from AJ. He remade Lava Launch. Let's quickly take Lava Launch to compare them. Here we have Lava Launch. Let me turn off the scenery. So yeah, this Lava Launch rendition from AJ obviously made to look like Batman and Robin, the Chiller. Yeah, I think it's a really fun and cool choice to actually make it look like these rides, and I think it works really well. Yeah, this is just a really incredible remake of those rides. I think it looks really similar to the original ones. Also really like that he put this this element here where they actually get lifted up a little bit before they return back on the track. Yeah, that's just a nice trick. Now the support work under these two tracks, it looks amazing. And these buildings in front of the coaster, which I believe also house the station of the ride. I think that also just looks incredible. Love all these buildings. We can also see this top spin here with this beautiful backdrop here made by these buildings. So yeah, even though there's not a lot in this park, everything that is there just looks amazing. So yeah, wonderful job from AJ. Okay, here's the entry from Immortal Cactus. Now you can see once again it's quite a small entry, but it just looks beautiful. So this park is made to look like a very old park. It mostly has very old rides, like this ride called Kitten Mitten. It's obviously one of those old... I'm not actually sure what these rides were called back in the day. But yeah, it's one of those dipping rides. And of course here we have the side friction coaster, and this side friction coaster is actually based on creaky dips, I believe. Here we have creaky dips. So there's a bit of similarity in the rides, and mostly in the part after the chain lift and the first drop. Yeah, you can see that it goes up the chain lift. It's a little drop into a turnaround, and then it does a small hill before it turns around. And after that, these two tracks are mostly different. Now, what I actually like most is the location that Immortal Cactus made for the station of the ride. I quite like the look of this half circle station. The station for this ride, I think it looks beautiful. And I also really like the support structure for this coaster. You can actually see he made all these footers around the coaster. A nice fence around it. This parking lot, I think it also looks really fun with all these old vehicles. We can see a train passing around here. Yeah, a steam train would probably also fit quite well in this area, this era, I mean. And here we can see a shoestring ride called Meat Spin. I'm not sure why it has that name, but yeah, it's a really cool shoestring ride, which actually has some shenanigans going on with the trains going forwards and backwards. You can see it spin here. I sped up the game a little bit, by the way. And at some point you will see it start to break, and then it goes backwards and goes down. So yeah, quite a cool ride, quite a cool and clever ride design. Yeah, just it's a small park, but everything here is really nicely decorated. I love the colors in the park, love the trees. Everything here is just done really nicely. So well-deserved third place from Immortal Cactus. Alright, there's just 2 more entries remaining. I will first show both of them, and after that I will reveal which one is the winner of this round. Alright, here's the entry from Hobien. Now, already when I first opened this park, yeah, I just immediately loved it. It looks amazing. Yeah, it's just a park that looks like it's placed in space, or maybe really high up above the land. Or I believe there's actually no more land in the setting of this park. Yeah, you can see the remake here of Quantum Thruster. Yeah, I really like this rendition of Quantum Thruster. You can see the station here. And the trains actually do a small drop here onto this beautifully decorated launch track. And then they go into this Quantum Thruster layout. So this part of the layout actually still is quite similar. I think it looks really good. Yeah, this part here over here has been added. It's an extra inversion, and I really like the way this element looks. It kind of looks like some sort of anti-gravity device. I'm not sure, but you can see in here the train actually does an inversion. And this looks incredible. The supports under this entire park look incredible as well. I love these buildings. They're just full of track texture. One of my favorite parts of the park is actually this shuttle loop over here, which actually travels around this queue path and exit path for this Quantum Thruster here. Yeah, that's just so nicely done. Yeah, it just looks incredible. Yeah, just a wonderful entry from Hobien. I think this entry is really amazing. By the way, you can download these entries for yourself from my Discord server. Discord is completely free, so you don't have to worry about that. Alright, and here's the final entry. This is the entry from Mulpia. Mulpia remade the wooden coaster called Tinder. So let's quickly show that coaster. Where is it? Tinder. So here we can see the ride layout for Tinder. As you can see, the version from Mulpia is a lot bigger, but you can really see the similarity in the design. I think Mulpia did a really nice job in placing that bridge for the park entrance, I presume. And just like the previous entry, it just has some beautiful path interaction there. But yeah, basically the RMC or the hybrid coaster that Mulpia made is just a bigger version of the coaster Tinder. It also has several inversions here. I believe Mulpia actually made use of the new hybrid coaster vehicles, which actually are now an OpenRC2 official object. So that's why they are now allowed in my contests. But yeah, it's just a beautiful park. It's a beautiful coaster as well. These supports look great. Now, we can also see this beautiful staircase leading down. Mulpia actually put this wooden coaster track under the invisible path here. I think it works quite well. The railings for this path, they look great. This ride here in the middle, this looks incredible. The Wheel of Time. We can see a swinging ship here, which is also beautifully decorated. This just looks incredible. Some beautiful fountains here as well. You can see a little harbor here. There's beautiful ruins here around the corner. There's a great shoreline. Yeah, just wherever you look, you can just see so many cool things. So yeah, once again, this is just another beautiful entry from Mulpia. Alright, with Mulpia's entry shown and the one from Hobien as well, it's now time to reveal which one of these last 2 entries is the winner of this round. The winner of the pre-design coaster improvement contest is... Mulpje. Yeah, once again a victory from Mulpje, but yeah, both the entries from Hobien and Mulpje, they were both really amazing. Yeah, of course, only one of them can be the winner. So for this round, Mulpje actually took the win. Oh yeah, it's a brilliant score. It's a brilliant entry. Yeah, lots of really nice entries in this round once again. Yeah, what else can I say? Yeah, I just hope you enjoyed watching all these entries. If you liked seeing all these entries, if you liked this video, please consider giving it a like. It would really help out my channel. Big shout out to all my patrons who keep supporting me. I will quickly show them on the screen now. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. A new contest will start really soon, and I will see you again in the next video. See you later.